Alright, I'm getting the four-wheeler warmed up. I hear Troy, he's up on the hill there. So we're gonna go up and see what he's up to. And that'll give us an update on the timber harvest project. Here we go. What in the world's going on here? Well, the light tire right there is flat. Alright, hold tight for this commercial break and we'll be back with you in a minute. Alright, we're going to do a little high-speed action. I'm going to record going up the road here, and you'll be able to see how he opened this road up real nice. So, well, here we go. It's probably going to be a little bumpy, a little shaky, but it'll be alright. Alright, you see right here, he widened this out a little bit. This piece here is a much better. Oh! Right there's the pines. That patch of red pines. And we're coming around the bottom over here. Oh, goodness gracious. Oh, he's up there a little higher cutting now. I'm going to shut the four-wheeler off here and see if I can hear him. Be very, very quiet. Well, looks like he's getting ready to drop another one here. What's happening, brother? You know what I was thinking walking up here? I was like, man, that sun's coming down there. Them double does, they're going to find that spot and they're going to be stacked in here like sardines in the winter, man.
Yeah?
Just sitting there warming their bones.
There's a lot of beds right at the edge of that in them hemlocks. I walked over there just to see what was there. But they're like little flat spots where they, like you said, like to run that edge.
One year, so Jimmy had his whole crew up here, right? Right? No joke. They were stacked right up on this ridge, right? Long story short, I wasn't feeling good, so I was down there just in the bottom, right? Well, one of the guys from the neighboring camp, he was just trying to push deer around because he already got his deer in archery season, right? So he come around the bottom of this piney patch, right? Well, I'm down here in the bottom, and there was like, I don't know, 3, 4 nice rack bucks in this group of I mean nice, right? So I come running around here, but I knew...
That made you feel a lot better too, didn't it?
Yeah, yeah. So I come running around to get a look on this point here, I actually run right up this gut, and I knew Allie was right in here somewhere, so I get on the phone and I'm like, hey, there's a whole group of bucks, they're coming right up the hill right towards you, right? I'm like, get ready, they're coming right now, and I'm sending text, they're coming, right? Because I couldn't shoot. So I'm sitting here and I'm waiting, and I'm right, so I go down, I run back that way so they couldn't cut across this side hill. Well, this is going to be a nice video because it's going all over the place. Anyway, so I'm watching this side and I'm waiting, right? And I'm like, they got to be seeing, there's no way they can't see them. Rack box, right? And so I'm talking to the guy from the camp too. He's like, yeah, I kicked a nice bunch of, yeah. I'm like, yeah, I know. Anyway, so I'm sitting there waiting, but cleaning up there about where my corner tree is, right? I hear one shot. So I'm like, I'm sitting here watching my phone. I'm like, all right, any minute now, right? They're just gonna cut loose, right? One shot. So I'm like, crap. So I wait a few minutes. I didn't hear anything from anybody. So I'm like, all right. I hopped on the 4-wheeler because I had it down there. Up there, I'm up here. I'm checking everybody. Got clean to the top, and I think it was Ethan. Shot a doe.
And they got out of there with...
They never even seen them. And they come right up right where you said those beds are, because there's always a buck laying in there. Anyway, that's what made me think of the story. So they come right up this way, and I knew they made it to this logging road, right? Because I was down enough that I could see, but they never...
So they stayed on the edge back out from the watchers and cut right up over there.
Yeah, they never seen them. And there it was. Here's another story I'll tell you real quick. So I was hunting by myself one day, and I thought, I'm just going to go for a walk. So anyway, I went clean out there to the edge of my property, cut up over the hill, and I was sneaking up this logging road. And I mean, just, you know, sneaking, right? Because I had a good idea there was going to be deer laying there, right? So anyway, so I get down there about that first turn, right? So I'm walking up through there, like your dad always told me, keep the gun off your shoulder and be ready. That stuck with me. So I'm coming up through there, I'm watching, you know, and I'm looking, I'm like, you know, look at what you're looking at, right? So I'm really, you know, I get up there, and just on the top of this little bump down there, right? This freaking rack buck jumps up, right? And before I could pick my gun up and throw the trigger off, he was gone. Right? So I run up here because I thought he's going to cross here or go this way. I could get it. Never seen him again. That was it. That was the end of that.
They got a lot of little escape routes on that side hill.
Yeah, this has opened this up nice. I can see I'm going to have a lot of firewood here when I thin this out, because it's going to...
It should regen nicely.
I'm not going to... That's the other thing. I'm not going to get rid of all that autumn olive. I'm going to leave... Yeah.
It's invasive for some timber regen, but it has a really good habitat benefit.
Yeah. The deer like it.
Yes, and turkeys.
Yeah.
Will these get them little berries sometimes?
Yep.
It's like anything. It's kind of like our life. Too much, you know, everything's okay in moderation.
Yeah.
If it gets overwhelming, then boom.
Trouble.
Yeah, trouble.
Well, don't let me hold you up.
Cut this one. Come up that way.
Yep. Jimmy and Ethan and them guys always like a daily video, so if I don't make one, they get mad at me. They'll get a good kick out of this because you're the main actor in the story here. This here's live action. Just listen to that 372 run. That's right. Let her go, buddy. Let her go. Biting. She loves it. There she went.
I forgot my hard hats, and here you are videoing me with no safety equipment on.
Well, you only need to worry about it sometimes.
Did you come up by that big one and see the metal in that butt? Did you see that?
No, I'll look at it when I get down. Boy, she was just chewing her. That's all. I said, just listen to that husky run.
That usually doesn't run up in there too far.
Yeah, that's what I was looking.
Yeah, that's one nice thing about the white oak species. It'll clean up real quick.
Well, and
so you could still make like a 10-footer, get your grade boards off the side, and if it's going to go for a railroad tie or whatever, they run that down to the square and cut the 2 foot out so it's solid.
yeah, and that tree,
Probably got rubbed.
well, Troy, Steve and I were talking, because I walked this with him, I think 3 times we marked this thing, and he's like, John, he goes, and you don't really think about this, the normal person, like you and foresters do, but he's like, John, you have to understand, he's like, you know, the majority of stuff we're marking is really at the end of its life. Yeah. He's like, if it makes it another 10 years, you know, it might, but he's like, where is
that one? That one white oak above them marked ones. It looks to me like it's stressed hard and not super healthy, like it's going the other way. It has all them little sucker limbs on.
Yeah.
Epicormic limbs, they call them. It's just kind of like it's struggle to survive.
Yeah, and those red...
And these are older than what you think, too. White oak grow a lot slower than red oak.
Yeah. Well, up there on the hill, remember I told you all them red oak died? That's what they did. They sprouted them epicormic branches. They died, and then it was weird because it's just like there's patches of the bark. It just opened up and it just started peeling off. But it, like if you look at the tree the right way, it looks like, why isn't that living? But it's something stressing them in there.
Yeah, that's generally the sign, is when them epicormic limbs start popping out the stem. It's just like it's last ditch effort to. Seems like it's always a losing battle. They might make it a couple more years, but then...
Yeah.
I put another alternator on her. She's charging now.
Yeah, that was it, eh?
Yeah.
Well, the old John Deere,
tightened that up a little bit on the starter where you seen it was pretty loose.
She ain't what she used to be. She's better now. She got a new alternator. She's proven.
That one there is actually Tom's skidder.
Tom Gates's.
I bought that off of Tom. The one of Dad's is down at the house there. That's the one we're putting the other motor in. And then you said about, I do still have that 648, but I'm probably going to sell it. It's just...
A lot of machine.
It's a lot of machine for this type of work. It's set up for the production more with the Timco and pull wood and grapple and...
Go.
Yeah. And we used it. We cut a job for Wheeland, Larry and I out there. John, that was probably the best job that I've ever seen and done in my life as far as working conditions and size of the timber. It was flat. It was on the state. They come in, removed all the shelter wood, let that go for 10 or 12 years, and there was a bunch of regen of red oak in there.
Yeah.
Then they come back and take all the overstory, all the big ones.
Open it up and let her go.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I think there was 500 trees there. There was 500 trees, and it averaged out to 8 trees per load.
Holy buckets.
They were some huge red oaks. That was on the average. I mean, some of them were like maybe 4.
Yeah. Did you break out a bigger saw?
No. Well, we had these. We had the 372s, but we had one there with a 24-inch bar.
Well, Jay...
You can cut the majority of them. Once you get over 5 foot, then you need to...
Jay Bird yesterday, he helps us out quite a bit, and I appreciate him more than you know, but he come home yesterday and he said, well, Dad, he goes, my boss gave me $300 cash today. And I said,
for bonus.
For what? He goes, well, because I got the 1 ton out there and we're using it all the time, you know, hooking it up the trailer, doing this, running here and doing that. And he said, so he gave me $300 cash. He goes, I'm going to buy you that big bore kit for your saw. Right? I said, that's awesome, buddy. I really appreciate it. So I went to work and I'm sitting there thinking, I'm like, you know, that saw's, because my saw's 20 years old. I never did anything to it really, other than maintenance. It still runs good. But anyway, I was like, you know, I'd really like to have a 572, right? So I texted him. I said, hey, give us some thought. I said, why don't we put that money? I said, your mom and I'll pitch in. I said, why don't we put that money towards, we'll just get a 572 and then we'll have a new saw and it'll be good and dependable and, you know, and then, because that one of his is throwing them fits and everything, you know.
It's a learning lesson.
Yeah. Well, he can, you know, and he can run the new saw. I don't have a problem with that. But then we at least have one good saw that's, if this mine goes down or whatever, we can rip.
You can't hardly beat new. Although if you put a new piston and jug on them, that freshens them up pretty good. But you still never know about the bottom end there with the bottom bearing. And you know, there's a lot of RPM, there's a lot of revolutions in its lifetime. You
know, because you run these for a while. So I'm hitting that 20-year mark, and it's getting tired.
Yeah.
It just don't have that spunk
even
like it used to.
Brand new saw is, you know, they ping, 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 ping. You just see the compressions a lot.
Exactly. Yeah, but it's nice to have, and we cut a ton of freaking wood. So that saw has cut hundreds of loads of firewood. Hundreds.
That's what we was talking about. Dad's old skitter.
Yeah.
It was made, it's a 1965.
Yeah.
So it's older than I am, so it's, 58 years of service?
Yeah.
Can you imagine the amount of wood that thing's pulled out in its lifetime?
Dude, no. I can't even,
you
no.
Can dam up Curtin Hall.
Yeah. Right. Well, it you know, it's like my tractor, but it's a 78, but John Deere's, it's just proven. And everyone's like, you don't need a green, you know, you're stuck on green. I'm like, no, I'm stuck on, it's proven. And those old tractors, especially, it was
Plus you can get an old tractor, a little bit bigger, what you want. My God, you look at them new ones, 60, 70,000 for a little dinker.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, Herm paid, now don't get me wrong, it's a nice tractor. He bought that 50 horse Mahindra, but he paid $30,000 for it.
And the axle, like on your tractors, the axles are bigger and heavier. It's made to last, not little ball joints and tinking, you know, and bending stuff. That's what the difference is.
Yeah. All that stuff. Wow. How'd you like your sandwich?
Very good.
Wow.
I was going to ask you, what the hell did you put in the seasonings?
Well, it's kind of a secret, so I don't want to have to bury up here anywhere, so I can't tell you. But
I don't know.
No.
It was the mixture of, you said the sausage and the burger and the spice. Oh, that was.
Yeah. So it was. I forgot I had them on. It was sweet Italian sausage, and then I mix it 50-50. It's a pound of each with Hamburg, and then because I pretty much all I eat is meat, and so I get the fat because I need the fat, because I was just eating Hamburg, and I dropped too much weight. So then I added the sausage back in, which gave me the fat, which gives me energy, and because it's not so lean, and then it worked.
Saturated fat. That's
yeah.
You gotta have so much of that.
Yeah, so it works good. And a lot of people don't realize your cholesterol is actually what it's what carries the stuff to fight inflammation. So they get all hung up on bad. It's like, listen, I'm telling you, you gotta have. I've eaten lard. I only use lard, sometimes olive oil, but not very often. I use lard, and I eat 90% of my diet is meat. That's it, right? For the last 3 years, and I'm the healthiest I've ever been.
I just watched this thing on TV. They were talking about, how society is getting overweight and more obese overall, and they were saying back in the day when everybody did a lot more manufactured work and everything too, you got to take that into account too. It's not all what you're eating, but also what you're doing. If you ain't doing nothing or doing much, which if you're just sitting in the office, then your intake don't need to be as much. And when you're young, you get away with a lot. And when you get older, everything.
Right. Well, I watched this one doctor I watch. He's just a real down to earth guy, and he was trying to explain to people, when it comes to your body has to have fat, right? We'll get back to that, right? So he's talking about all these different oils like canola oil, corn oil, all this stuff, right? So those are all bad oils. They're high in omega-6s, which causes a lot of inflammation and that stuff. So he was saying it takes 2 years. He calls it a body oil change. So when you get those bad fats in you, it takes 2 years if you ate nothing but healthy fats for you to get rid of all the bad stuff. You think about that. Yeah. Like even eating potato chips, because a lot of times they use canola and stuff, because I love potato chips. Yeah. Yeah. It's my crutch, but that and peanut butter. But anyway, people don't think about that. So if you're constantly adding load to that inflammation factor, then like your body, if it takes something in, it can't get rid of it fast enough. Like you're eating too much of them bad oils, it stores it in fat to deal with later. And that's why a lot of people are becoming obese, because they're just putting too much of that. Your body can't get rid of it fast enough, so you get fat.
They were saying there about the logging back, when it's cross cuts and out there at Skillman, and I seen some shows on TV. They paid their workers pretty good money, but they fed them very well, because they figured they fed them on like a 6,000 calorie diet. They pumped food too, because he's working.
Yeah. Yeah, can you imagine?
Yeah.
Well, don't let me hold you up.
I'm only going to be here till about noon. We're going to celebrate Easter at camp today.
Yeah. You going to have an Easter egg hunt?
Yeah.
Yeah. I seen the church down there yesterday had an Easter egg hunt. They had a whole line of kids lined up, right? And they're like,
getting
ready, set, go. They all went running out through there. Yeah. Yeah, good deal. All right, well, I'll let you go.
And I'll see you Monday then.
Yep.
You have a happy Easter to your family.
Yeah, you too. I'm gonna go down around this way and just take some video for Jimmy and Ethan so they can see what's going on.
All right, buddy.
See ya. All right, so he's working up the hill here. There's one. There's one. There's a hard or soft maple, I think it is. Yeah. big red maple. You see it's split. There's a nice top for some firewood. Opened this up pretty good. We should be able to get up in here pretty easy with the trucks. If not, we'll bring a tractor up. Yeah. Drop them in. There's a maple, white oak. Really did a good job felling that one uphill. Little white pine is not really worth much. It's a nice white oak there. That's a pretty nice white oak. There. Troy, I was going to tell you, there is a skid road that winds up right up through here.
Yeah, I walked out and seen them. I'm going to get some, but then probably we'll have to go out into that hall and get the ones in and probably take them down.
All right. All right, we're going to get down here and look at this. This tree said it had the metal in it. And then I gotta get ready for work. Boy, it's opened this up really nice right here. That'll all be firewood. We'll get to work and look at that white oak stump there. That's probably 32 inches across. We'll just go down to it. Oh, no, I'll go this way. That hickory right there's marked. Not sure why you didn't cut that, but I said that one has the metal in it. I'm looking for staining on the butt here, but I don't see it. Well, let's see if we can find it. Well, I'm not sure which one it is. Let's see if he said there looked like he had a tree stand in it. Oh. Well, I'm betting it's this one right here. Milwaukee's, and man, these are some long, tall trees. Yeah, I'm betting it's that one there. Looks like there's nail nubbins on it there. There's this one right here. Yeah. Man, them things are long. I'll bet you I'll go down here and stand on this one. That tree right there, that's probably 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, around 60 feet. There's my hanger. I'll walk out here and look at the meadow real quick, see how it's greening up. Now there's some coyote crap. I'm gonna be setting some traps this fall. Tried to open this up a little bit. We cleared a bunch of them red pine around the edge there. See if this pear tree's getting any buds on it. This poor thing, it suffered. Bear come in, ripped all the branches and stuff off of it one time because there's pears on it. I had 4 of them up here. This is the only one that made it. Yep, she's still budding up good. Grass around here looks really good. And then all the autumn olives coming up. I think I'm just going to bring the tiller up here. We're going to till this up real hard. Try and get rid of some of that autumn olive and then replant this with a food plot. And you can see, here's some pig gut. There's some pig gut. And then this is where we dumped all the hides and stuff, but that's all that's left. The coyotes and the buzzards and the hawks and everything pretty much cleaned her up. Beautiful view from up here. Right down there's the house. Alright everybody, so this is the next timber harvest update. I think this is number 6 or 7. But won't be any videos tomorrow. God bless you. Have a happy Easter. I'll see you on the next one.